Imagine a farm where the livestock has razor-sharp teeth and armor-like skin, a place where one wrong move could cost you a limb. Welcome to the world of crocodile farming in Thailand, a booming industry that rakes in a whopping $28 million every year. But how do they do it? And why would anyone risk working with these ancient predators? Stick around to find out, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to dive deeper into the fascinating world of unique farming practices. The basics of crocodile farming. Crocodile farming isn't your average agricultural venture. These farms are a mix of zoo, leather factory, and gourmet meat producer all rolled into one. In Thailand, they've turned this unusual business into a gold mine. Let's start at the beginning, the eggs. Did you know that the temperature of the eggs decides whether you get boy or girl crocs? It's true. Warmer eggs hatch males, while cooler ones produce females. Farmers keep a close eye on those thermometers to get the right mix. The science behind this is pretty cool. If the eggs are kept at about 88 to 91 degrees Fahrenheit, they'll hatch female crocs. Bump that up to 91 to 93 degrees, and you'll get males. It's like nature's own thermostat for gender. Once hatched, baby crocs need special care. They're kept in nursery ponds, safe from bigger crocs that might see them as a snack. These little guys grow fast, chowing down on fish and chicken. But raising them isn't just about food, it's about creating the perfect environment. Baby crocs are pretty vulnerable at first. They're only about 10 inches long when they hatch. Farmers have to protect them from predators like birds and monitor them closely for any health issues. It's kind of like running a daycare, but with more scales and teeth. The crocodile habitat. Picture this: vast concrete ponds filled with murky water, basking areas for sunbathing, and plenty of space for swimming. That's home sweet home for these scaly residents. Farmers have to get creative to mimic natural conditions. They even add fish to the ponds to keep the water clean and provide a snack for the crocs. But it's not all smooth sailing. Crocodiles can be cranky neighbors. Farmers have to keep an eye out for fights, especially during mating season. It's like managing a pond full of teenagers with attitude problems and very sharp teeth. Creating the right habitat is crucial. Crocs need both water and land areas. The water needs to be deep enough for them to swim, but with shallow areas where they can rest. The land areas need to be spacious enough for basking in the sun, which helps them regulate their body temperature. Temperature control is a big deal in crocodile farming. These reptiles are cold-blooded, so they rely on their environment to keep their body temperature just right. Farmers use a mix of shade and sunlight, along with heated water in some cases, to keep their crocs comfortable year-round. Feeding time, a logistical challenge. Feeding time at a crocodile farm is no small feat. Adult crocs can eat up to 50 pounds of meat in one sitting, though they don't need to eat that often. Farmers typically feed them a few times a week, using a mix of chicken, fish, and other meats. But here's the tricky part. You can't just toss food into a pond full of hungry crocs. It's dangerous and inefficient. Instead, farms use feeding platforms or designated areas where they can control the distribution of food. Some even use long poles to offer food to individual crocs, ensuring everyone gets their fair share. The diet of farmed crocs is carefully managed. While wild crocs might eat whatever they can catch, farmed crocs get a balanced diet designed to promote healthy growth and high-quality skin. It's like a fancy meal plan, but for reptiles. Harvesting, not for the faint of heart. Now, here's where things get interesting. Harvesting a crocodile isn't like picking an apple off a tree. It's more like trying to catch a bus, if the bus had jaws that could crush bone. Trained handlers, armed with poles and ropes, carefully separate the crocs. It's a dangerous dance. One wrong step and you could end up as croc chow. But these pros make it look easy, guiding the animals to processing areas with the skill of expert choreographers. The harvesting process is carefully timed. Crocs are typically harvested when they're about 3 years old. At this age, they're big enough to provide a good amount of meat and a sizable skin, but young enough that their skin is still supple and unmarked. Safety is paramount during harvesting. Handlers wear protective gear and work in teams. They use special techniques to restrain the crocs, often taping their jaws shut for extra safety. It's a bit like a rodeo, but with more teeth and less yeehaw. Leather production, where the big bucks are. The real money in crocodile farming comes from their skin. Crocodile leather is a hot commodity in the fashion world. Handbags, shoes, belts. If it's made from croc skin, it's probably worth more than your car. The process of turning tough hide into supple leather is an art form. It involves careful skinning, tanning, and dyeing. The best skins, free from scratches or blemishes, can fetch astronomical prices. We're talking thousands of dollars for a single skin. But not all skins are created equal. The belly skin is the most valuable, prized for its softness and scale pattern. Back skin is tougher and less valuable, but still used for items like belts and shoes. The tanning process is complex and time-consuming. First, the skin is carefully removed and cleaned. Then it goes through a series of chemical treatments to preserve it and make it soft and pliable. Finally, it's dyed and finished. The whole process can take weeks or even months to complete. Meat production, from farm to table. But let's not forget about the meat. Crocodile meat is considered a delicacy in many parts of the world. It's lean, high in protein, and apparently tastes like a mix between chicken and fish. Fancy restaurants in Bangkok serve up croc steaks, while street vendors offer deep-fried croc on a stick. Talk about range. Processing the meat requires special care. It's handled in state-of-the-art facilities to ensure safety and quality. From fillet to tail meat, every part of the crocodile finds its way to someone's plate. Crocodile meat is surprisingly versatile. The tail meat is the most prized, often compared to veal in texture. It can be grilled, fried, or even used in curries. Other parts of the croc, like the feet and innards, are used in traditional medicines in some cultures. But it's not just about taste. Crocodile meat is actually pretty healthy. It's low in fat, high in protein, and contains omega-3 fatty acids. Some people even consider it a healthier alternative to beef or pork. Balancing act, conservation, and commerce. Now you might be wondering, isn't this bad for wild crocodiles? Surprisingly, it's quite the opposite. Crocodile farms in Thailand actually help wild populations. By providing a steady supply of crocodile products, they reduce pressure on wild crocodiles. Many farms also run breeding programs for endangered species. They work with conservation groups to reintroduce crocs into the wild. It's a win-win situation. The farms make money and the wild crocs get a helping hand. These conservation efforts are more than just good PR. They're essential for the long-term sustainability of the industry. By maintaining healthy wild populations, farms ensure genetic diversity in their stock and help preserve these ancient creatures for future generations. Some farms even participate in research programs helping scientists learn more about crocodile biology, behavior, and conservation. This research can lead to better farming practices and improved conservation strategies for wild populations. Tourism. Come for the crocs, stay for the show. But wait, there's more. These farms aren't just about production. Many double as tourist attractions. Visitors can watch feeding shows, hold baby crocs, and learn about these fascinating creatures. It's not just entertainment, though. These tours help educate people about crocodiles, their role in the ecosystem, and the importance of conservation. Plus, it adds another revenue stream for the farms. Smart business, right? The tourism aspect of crocodile farms is carefully managed. Safety is a top priority, with visitors kept at a safe distance from the adult crocs. But that doesn't mean it's not exciting. Watching a 15-foot crocodile leap out of the water to snatch a chicken is quite a spectacle. Many farms also have museums or educational centers where visitors can learn about crocodile biology, evolution, and conservation. Some even offer hands-on experiences like holding a baby croc or feeding the juveniles. It's education and excitement rolled into one scaly package. So there you have it, the ins and outs of Thailand's crocodile farming industry. From egg to handbag, from hatchling to gourmet meal, these farms are a testament to human ingenuity and nature's resilience. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. What other unusual farming practices are out there waiting to be discovered? And how are they shaping our world? The answers might surprise you. Imagine a farm where the livestock doesn't moo, oink, or cluck. Instead, it slithers. Welcome to the world of python farming, where these massive snakes are turning into cold, hard cash. We're talking a cool $10 million from skin and meat production. Sounds crazy, right? But in the realm of alternative livestock, python farming is coiling its way to the top. Buckle up, because we're about to unravel the secrets of this slithering success story. Let's start with the obvious question, why pythons? Well, it turns out these reptiles are a goldmine on scales. Python skin is highly prized in the fashion industry for its unique patterns and durability. We're talking high-end handbags, shoes, and belts that can fetch thousands of dollars apiece. But that's just the beginning. Python meat is considered a delicacy in some parts of the world, and it's gaining traction as a lean, protein-rich alternative to traditional meats. The fashion industry's appetite for python skin is insatiable. Luxury brands like Gucci, Hermes, and Louis Vuitton regularly feature python skin products in their collections. A single python skin handbag can retail for $15,000 or more. It's this high-end market that drives much of the demand for python farming. Now, you might be thinking, surely there can't be that much demand for python products? Think again. The global market for exotic leather goods is estimated to be worth billions of dollars annually. Python skin alone accounts for a significant chunk of that. And with the growing interest in novel food experiences and alternative protein sources, python meat is carving out its own niche. So, how does a python farm actually operate? Let's slither into the details. First off, we're not talking about a few snakes in a backyard shed. Commercial python farms are large-scale operations, often housing thousands of snakes. The most common species used are reticulated pythons and Burmese pythons, both known for their impressive size and beautiful skin patterns. A typical python farm might house anywhere from 5,000 to 20,000 snakes at various stages of growth. These farms require significant investment in infrastructure. We're talking about specialized climate-controlled buildings, feeding systems, and waste management facilities. It's not uncommon for a large-scale python farm to require several $1 million in startup costs. The farming process starts with breeding. Female pythons can lay anywhere from 20 to 100 eggs at a time, which are then carefully incubated. This is where the first challenge comes in. Unlike chickens or cows, pythons have a relatively long maturation period. It can take 2 to 3 years for a python to reach a size suitable for harvesting. During this growth period, the pythons require specialized care. They're kept in climate-controlled environments that mimic their natural habitat. Temperature and humidity are crucial factors in keeping these cold-blooded creatures healthy and promoting optimal growth. The ideal temperature range is typically between 80 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, with humidity levels around 60 to 80%. Feeding is another critical aspect. Pythons are carnivores, and on these farms, they're typically fed a diet of rats, rabbits, or chickens. This is a major operational cost, but it's essential for producing high-quality skin and meat. Some farms have even started breeding their own feed animals to cut costs and ensure a steady supply. A full-grown python can eat prey equivalent to about 5% of its body weight every week. For a 150-pound python, that's about 7.5 pounds of food weekly. Multiply that by thousands of snakes, and you start to understand why feed costs are such a significant part of python farming operations. Now, let's talk about the harvesting process. This is where things get a bit, well, squeamish for some folks. But remember, this is no different from any other livestock farming in principle. The pythons are typically euthanized humanely when they reach the optimal size, usually around 3 to 4 meters in length. Once harvested, the pythons are processed quickly. The skin is carefully removed in one piece, a skill that requires considerable expertise. Any damage to the skin can significantly reduce its value. The meat is then butchered and processed for sale. But here's where python farming gets really interesting from a business perspective. Unlike traditional livestock, where you might get 1 or 2 products, pythons offer multiple revenue streams. Let's break it down. Skin. This is the big-ticket item. A single high-quality python skin can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The fashion industry is the primary buyer, using python skin for luxury goods like handbags, shoes, and belts. The value of the skin depends on its size, pattern, and quality. A prime python skin can fetch upwards of $1,000 at wholesale prices. Meat python meat is lean, high in protein, and low in cholesterol. It's gaining popularity in some Asian countries and is starting to appear on menus in the West as an exotic delicacy. While not as lucrative as the skin, python meat still commands a premium price compared to traditional meats. It can sell for $20 to $50 per pound, depending on the market. Organs? Believe it or not, python organs have value too. The gallbladder, for instance, is used in traditional Chinese medicine and can sell for $50 to $100 each. Other organs are used in the pet food industry. Bones. Python bones are ground up and used in traditional medicine or as ingredients in some health supplements. A kilogram of python bone powder can sell for $20 to $30. Blood. Even python blood has a market. It's used in some traditional medicines and is being studied for potential pharmaceutical applications. While not a major revenue stream yet, it could become more valuable as research progresses. Live offspring. Some farms sell live baby pythons to the pet trade or to other farms looking to expand their breeding stock. A single baby python can sell for $50 to $200, depending on the species and coloration. When you add all these revenue streams together, you start to see how a well-run python farm can generate millions of dollars. A farm with 10,000 pythons producing 5,000 skins per year could potentially generate over $5 million from skins alone. Add in the revenue from meat, organs, and other products, and you can see how the $10 million figure is achievable. But let's not kid ourselves. Python farming isn't without its challenges. For one, it's a relatively new industry, which means there's a lot of learning on the go. Farmers have had to figure out optimal breeding techniques, feeding regimens, and housing conditions largely through trial and error. There is also the issue of regulation. In many countries, python farming operates in a legal gray area. Some species of python are protected, which can complicate matters. Farms need to ensure they're operating within the law and often need to prove that their pythons are captive bred rather than wild caught. The Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora regulates the international trade in python skins. Farms need to comply with CITES regulations and obtain proper documentation for their products. This can be a complex and time-consuming process, but it's essential for operating legally in the global market. Animal welfare is another concern. While pythons don't have the same emotional appeal as furry mammals, there are still ethical considerations in how they're raised and harvested. Reputable farms work hard to ensure their pythons are well cared for, not just because it's the right thing to do, but because stress and poor conditions can negatively impact skin and meat quality. Disease management is crucial too. Like any livestock, pythons can fall prey to various ailments. A disease outbreak can be devastating to a farm's stock. This is why maintaining proper hygiene and quarantine procedures is vital. Common health issues in farmed pythons include respiratory infections, parasites, and skin conditions. Farms often employ veterinarians specializing in reptile care to manage these risks. Then there's the market volatility to contend with. The luxury goods market, where most python skin ends up, can be fickle. Economic downturns or changes in fashion trends can impact demand. Successful python farmers need to be savvy business people, not just good snake wranglers. But for those who can navigate these challenges, the rewards can be substantial. A well-run python farm producing high-quality skins and meat can indeed generate millions of dollars annually. So, what does the future hold for python farming? As with many aspects of agriculture, technology is playing an increasingly important role. Some farms are experimenting with artificial intelligence and machine learning to optimize feeding schedules and predict market trends. Others are looking into genetic research to breed pythons with more desirable skin patterns or faster growth rates. There's also growing interest in making python farming more sustainable. Some farms are exploring ways to use python waste as fertilizer or to generate biogas. Others are looking at more efficient feeding methods to reduce the environmental impact of raising prey animals. The python meat market is another area with growth potential. As consumers become more open to alternative protein sources, python meat could find its way onto more menus. Some chefs are already experimenting with python dishes, touting its unique flavor and nutritional benefits. Python meat is said to have a mild flavor, often compared to chicken or fish, and is very lean, making it an attractive option for health-conscious consumers. But perhaps the most intriguing development is the potential for python-derived products in the medical field. Researchers are studying python blood for its antibacterial properties, and some components of python venom show promise in pain management. If any of these research avenues pan out, it could open up entirely new markets for python farmers. The pharmaceutical potential of python-derived products is particularly exciting. Some studies have shown that certain proteins in python blood have powerful antibacterial properties, potentially offering new weapons in the fight against antibiotic-resistant bacteria. Meanwhile, compounds found in python venom are being investigated for their potential in developing new pain medications. As the python farming industry grows, it's also facing increased scrutiny from animal rights activists and environmental groups. Critics argue that farming pythons could incentivize illegal poaching of wild pythons and disrupt local ecosystems. The industry is responding by emphasizing the sustainability of captive breeding and the potential conservation benefits of reducing pressure on wild python populations. From luxury handbags to exotic cuisine, from traditional medicine to cutting-edge medical research, python farming is proving to be a surprisingly versatile and lucrative venture. But here's a thought to sink your teeth into. As this industry grows, what might be the next exotic animal to slither its way into the world of commercial farming? And more importantly, are we ready for the ethical and ecological questions that come with it? In the ever-evolving world of agriculture, python farming is just the tip of the snakeberg. The question is, what coils beneath the surface, waiting to be discovered?